Hola, ¿qué tal, Dual? We are back with our boys of Santos Bravos. This past weekend was a very big weekend for the boys and for myself because, as you guys know, Army, BTS Army, they're my alt group. But the reason I say it was a big weekend for our boys is because they got to go to the show. They got to go to day 3 of their Goyang show, which was, I think it was like the best of the 3. All 3 shows were amazing, but day 1 it rained. It rained like crazy, so I was like, please, I hope they don't go on day 1 because they can't get sick during their promotions. So I'm glad they got to attend during day 3, but I swear, if you're in socials, like I obviously was aware of everything that was going on since, like, again, I mentioned I'm Army. The BTS concerts were the hottest ticket. Literally, every single person within the industry that has like is a big deal in Korea was there. Obviously, we had all the HYBE artists with their swim gear. I almost feel like when they were gifted the jackets, that's when they got the invitation, because like every single artist, like every single HYBE group that went was wearing the merch, and it was like bragging rights because they were wearing the merch that nobody else has. So we had like Le Seraphim, Cordes, Tuas, Boy Next Door, TXT, Enhypen, 2 other members from 17, Santos Bravos. I think the only HYBE artists that were not there were Islet, Aeon, and Team. But BTS is gonna have shows next weekend in Japan, so I have a feeling that those 3 groups are gonna get invited to the Japan shows, which makes sense. So I'm so excited that Santos Bravos was there. I mean, obviously, unfortunately, since they're not as popular in Korea and people don't know who they are, we didn't get as many fan cams as we did of like all the other HYBE artists, but at least we got some pictures. We know they were there. We know they met Bang PD, like the head honcho of like HYBE, the creator of BTS, which is, like I mentioned and we all know, Santos Bravo's role model. Kawe's like he's like a biggest Army, so Kawe was excited to be there. And then they also posted on their socials. Drew posted a photo, Aleph posted a photo, Kenneth, Kawe, of course. Oh my god, Kawe, he made me so emotional. I was like so happy for him because he is a real one. The videos he posted, first of all, he posted his curls are back, thank you. He posted, you know, like his dream came true. That's so happy he was there. But then he posted videos of or a photo of him crying when they were singing Spring Day. If you guys are not Army, you don't understand the relevance that song has for the fandom. It's like Spring Day is the queen. Spring Day, whenever any new BTS songs comes up, Spring Day comes back in the charts. It's a song that not only, why am I so emotional? It's a song that not only the fan base loves, but also like Koreans as a whole. Like everybody knows Spring Day. So seeing Kawe see Spring Day in person, like even I get emotional when I see Spring Day, and I haven't been a fan as long as Kawe has. But then when he posted the video during mic drop, he was doing the fan chant. That's how you know he's a real Army, you know, because obviously the other boys are like fans and they admire them. But for Kawe to know the fan chants, he's an OG. Obviously, you know, he said he's been like standing them since 2014. He's an OG Army from like the very beginning, and he has kept that up. It hasn't like gone away. So I feel like for him, I think it was like this big like dream come true moment. Not that for the other members it wasn't, but it was like him. He went from I'm a fan of this group to I'm watching them perform live, finally my dream, but also I'm in the same company as this group. Like they can give me advice. And also for Drew, it was like it's such like strange, but you know, like things have a way of working out, because like I mentioned when I watched the Dual documentary episode on Drew, I mentioned that how I wished they had focused a little bit more on his journey, because I didn't mention at all that he was a dancer for BTS at any point, even though They did mention that when in a little clip when they met 17, Jessica said that to the 17 boys that Drew used to be a dancer for Santos Bravos. So the fact that that wasn't mentioned in the series, in his episode, was like, But especially because the reason I'm mentioning this is because I feel like his career as a dancer was about to take off, because there's an old interview of him before, like from after COVID, where he talks about the possibility of him going on tour, being invited on tour with BTS was there. Because like I mentioned, not only had he worked with J-Hope and Chicken Noodle Soup, but also he was on the music video, the On music video with The Lab, you know, Sienna Lalau. She choreographs a lot of the music for BTS. And Drew was part of that crew. Like, he was in the music video, so we see him that he's there. So I feel like if we had gotten that tour, like BTS and the fans have received that tour, Drew would have been touring with them, and he would have been like experiencing life on tour as a dancer. Obviously COVID happened, that never came true. But now, like, fast forward 6 years later, he now debuted as an artist under the same label as BTS. It's like, I know it's like kismet, you know, the way that just like things work out when they're supposed to. So I think, like, obviously, and then we know Ale loves his K-pop, and obviously Kenneth, they all appreciate the music. Gabi said, you know, his bias is Hobie. So I wish, I don't know if I missed it. Did Gabi post a photo of him at the show? I don't know. But that's why I was like so happy for them that they were there. Not only because they're fans and they get to see the biggest artist in the world right now, but them as like beginning artists, they can see what showmanship is, and they can learn from their sunbays, you know, from their seniors. Because I also feel like that's a big reason why a lot of the Hive artists were invited, not only because it's a Hive family, and obviously everybody wants to attend that show. It's like the hottest ticket. So they were in the section that's literally just for the exclusive friends and family that were invited by either the company or by the group themselves. Because there was, I'm kidding you, when I tell you it was an all-star audience, it ranged from, like I said, artists from the Hive groups, but also artists from other groups, from other K-pop groups, which is hilarious to me because some of those K-pop groups, their fans are always comparing themselves to BTS and ARMY and like trying to compete, but you have the artists themselves showing up to see BTS. But it was like actors, like renowned actors, and like cooks, monks, like anybody that supported BTS during their promo, like that they were on their shows and things like that, they were invited. So, and then like their friends were invited, like personal friends in the industry. So it's like in Mexico, if like the biggest artist that Santos Bravos looks up to, they went to see Santos Bravos show, because that's how much impact BTS has in the industry in Korea itself. But like I was mentioning, it's almost like, yes, it's a concert to enjoy and see, like, oh my god, I'm enjoying this artist, but it's also a way for them to learn, like, this is what a performance looks like, with like, look at the crowd, like this is the fan interaction you could have. Like if you create like a genuine bond with your fans, they will show up to support you, like ARMY is supporting BTS. But also the showmanship on stage, how to pace yourself, how to like be able to sing live and do it well and not be like running out of breath, the energy, the stamina, the precision, the coordination, and also like having that stage presence, how to move in the stage and interact with each other, interact with the fans, how to deal with like random moments that and just like, you know, learn to fix if there's any issues, how to work together. So I think that's like, that was also like a master class for them to go back and be inspired and be able to think, this is my goal for the future. I want to get to this level. Obviously we don't know if they're going to get as huge as BTS, but they could come pretty close, you know, and you never know. It's Latin America, so they could be their own trendsetters. But I rambled a little bit on about the BTS and Santos Bravos, but I'm like, I'm so proud that they got to go, and especially for Kawe. He's like the happiest person. Also, I'm super jealous that they got to go to the pop-up and they got their Arirang merch, because I saw that they were wearing it, the Arirang tour merch. Drew showed up in the full sweatpants pants, like the whole outfit. And I think like the set or the joggers was like $150. But yeah, like they were all showing, they were wearing their merch on top of their, like, and on top they were also wearing their merch windbreaker. So excited about that. I saw recently a picture of the boys going into Hive, and I love the fact that Kawe got the army bomb bag that says not a bomb. It's hilarious. That's where you put your the light stick. So that's called an army bomb because it's the shape of like a little bomb. And the top, it even has a little like fuse. But the bag is like a military bag because it's a play on the fact that BTS just came back from the military, but it's for the light stick. It looks like a bomb, but it says not a bomb. And then he also has a little keychain of the bomb. So I'm like, that's literally what every army bought. So Kawe representing, like, he's being a fanboy. I love that he's being a fanboy, even though he's like an artist now. He can still show support for the artist that he admires. But anyways, the reason I'm talking so much about Santos Bravos and BTS is because obviously we saw them do a little cover interpretation of Swim on Idol Radio, but also they filmed a mini video, their own version of Swim, their own arrangement with like clips in the video. So we're gonna go, I've already seen it, but I want to see it again and just kind of like point out some of the things that I've noticed that kind of correlate with my comments in the of their performance on Idol Radio. That I know some people thought that I was criticizing Kawe, which I'm never criticizing him. I know that he's an amazing singer. My critique is more on, my thoughts are more on their arrangements. Like, certain arrangements don't fit certain songs, even if it's a cover. That doesn't mean it's gonna fit. But now listening to the full version, it makes sense what they did on Idol Radio. So I'll talk about a little bit about that after we watch the little mini music video of Swim. Okay, let's go. And they're like in different spaces in Korea. I love that arrangement. And Kenneth's backups. The harmonies. With Hobie. Ale. Gabi. I love the harmonies. Don't know how to act, girl. I love Drew. His voice. He's like a distinctive sound. So easy, don't make it so hard. Nice like peace. Maknae doing Maknae. Ale. The layers. That softness. That's what it was missing. The harmonies. Why are you crying? I ain't never getting cold feet. Yeah, you know me. Yeah, you know me. I can see the highway running. Why you got her when you can run it? Salt to my tongue, she's stunning. You're the only place that I wanna be. Oh, Kawe. That's softness. I love the way Ale always does like the original arrangement. The vocals. And then the swim, swim, splash. Gabi doing Hobie? I just wanna take it across the line. Under here we don't taste the time. Maybe everything can be so sad. Turn my face from the land. I just wanna die. I just wanna die. Drew. And Ale. I could spend a lifetime watching you. Oh, harmonies. This is how it all begins. Swim,
I just wanna dive, I just wanna dive.
Oh, perfection. Perfection, Kawe. Okay, I wanted to mention okay, so this is even though it's their version, they made the song their own, but they stuck to the feeling of the original because like I mentioned, the original's arrangement is, it's like soft. It's a very soft song. It's not very like vocally challenged as far as having a lot of falsettos and like riffs and high notes, but Kawe used his little specific in the introduction when he's like water falling off your skin, like he riffed it and you could tell like no 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 no, he was doing scales, but it wasn't like he didn't throw in a random falsetto. However, I did notice, and that not make sense what they did in Idol Radio. In this version, you still hear Kawe's his high walling off your skin. You know, when he goes into the falsetto, you hear it, but it's a backup. It's like a background falsetto. It's not on the forefront, because in the forefront you have all the other layers of the other members doing their harmonies, like different notes, singing the swim, swim. I could spend a lifetime watching you. I love the way that they arrange keep the first portion like water falling off your skin, the original, but then they changed the second to I could spend a lifetime watching you. I love that they did that key change because it still gives it emotion, but it's not like super aggressive. But you can hear Kawa in the background still hitting his notes. They're still distinctive, but they're not overpowering. So that's, you never want to overpower the song. And on top of that, at the end, I don't know who does the harmony. It sounds like a feminine voice, like a female vocal, but it could be Kawa. I don't know, but it's very like sharp, like, and it sounds very, very pretty. The other part I noticed also, the part towards the second half where, or like in the middle, in Idol Radio we saw Ale also did like a high note. In here, you can hear it, but in the background. It's not on the forefront. So it's still layered. So I almost feel like in Idol Radio, they try to do like, obviously they did like a stripped out version of what they did here, but they chose, instead of choosing the forefront portions to do, they chose to do, or they had them do the backup vocals, which is more like ad-libby, and it doesn't fit for an a cappella type of performance. Whereas here it fits because you have all the other layers of all the other members doing the harmonies, and those like fit perfectly. And obviously they're doing the main vocals, and they're doing like the also like the backing vocals, because it's when it goes swim, swim, you could hear the second layer of swim, you know? So it makes it sound a little bit prettier. The other thing, but they did amazing. Like, I love the arrangement that they did. Like, everybody's vocals shown. We had, like I said, Gavi did like the rapping part of both RM and J-Hope. And then also Drew took like the second half of RM's rap. But then Kenneth took on the whole like Suga rap, like the whole verse. So I love that the way that the arrangement that was for 7 people, they split it into 5 people, but it works. Like, it works especially with their vocals, because the sections that, especially the sections that Gabi did, they fit with his lower register a little bit better. Instead of having the vocalist, I guess you could say, like Gawe and Alejandro and Drew, I don't think like they would have fit those rap parts. That's why they chose Gavi. Drew did fit like the second part of like RMs. They chose Gavi, and also even Kenneth's like youthful voice, it fits with Suga's vocals. So if you guys have heard the original, you'll see what I mean with like the comparison, and that's why they arranged like who did those parts. But the other thing that I loved about this clip was the fact that it's obviously a nod to BTS because they're all admired the group, but I'm gonna get emotional. It was almost like a little bit of like, again, another like lesson for them to visit, I guess you could say, like follow in the footsteps that BTS walked, because the park, the buildings. I can't remember if here they showed like the old Big Hit building, but all the different scenes that are here, the pictures and the videos where they're crying, they're places that are very historically meaningful to BTS, because those places that they visited when they were trainees, when they were barely beginning, when they were like struggling, places they would go to for like solace, to feel at peace, to just be kids with each other, because they were still pretty young, and just to be like have semi-normal lives but have like discussions and like existential crises sometimes. Their beginnings, literally. So the fact that Santos Bravos went to these places, it's like, these are the places that these people that you look up to, this is where they started, and look at them now. So to them, it's like, you guys might feel that you come from like very humble beginnings, that you're not like good enough or whatever, but if you put in the work and you put in the dedication, you put in like, you're authentic to your art and yourself, you could get there, because that's what BTS did. They were authentic to themselves, authentic to their music, to their style, authentic to what they wanted to say. They didn't just do everything that the company wanted them to do. They had like a collaborative effort between the company and them, which is why it thrived, because there was a collaboration. It wasn't like a dictatorship where, no, you're going to do this type of music and that's it. The fact that even from when they were younger, they had a lot of creative control was helpful. So I feel like this is a lesson to Santos Bravos, because a lot of them are also very, you know, creatively inclined. They've done their own music, they've written their own music, they've sang their own music, they've created their own choreography, their own art. So it's kind of a lesson for them to, even though you might feel like you're from humble beginnings or that you're not enough, just keep being yourself, keep voicing yourself, you know, keep giving your opinions, your feedback, make it a collaborative effort between you and the team, and you're gonna go far. So I thought that was like super emotional for me. Obviously it was emotional for them, touching for them to be in I'm getting emotional too, to be there. So yeah, like I love this version, what they did with it. Like they did it justice. They did it justice. The other thing I wanted to mention, obviously, like I said, the boys have an agenda full of appearances next week. They're going to be so far 4 shows that have been announced. Another one is kind of like up in the air. We're kind of guessing. So they're for sure going to be appearing on MCountdown, Music Bank, Inkigayo, and the show Music Core. I think it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So their weekend is booked. So like I've mentioned in the previous video, they're probably not going to win. They definitely are not eligible to be in the votes, because first they have to showcase the music, and then the following week they would be eligible to be in the votes. The first appearance is just for them to be like, hey, this is our new song, this is who we are, you know. Because even TXT, they just dropped music, and they're going to be on, I think it was Music Bank, but their song is not eligible yet. It won't be eligible until next week. But anyways, those are the 4 shows that for sure they're going to make appearances off. The other one that we're kind of guessing on is It's Live, which is literally live. They just stand in front of a microphone and a cappella it. So I think that's going to be another, if it is confirmed, another way for them to, again, showcase their vocals. So I hope they have good arrangements of their songs for them. I will put really quick, just in case you guys aren't aware, because you probably aren't, and those of you that are not familiar with the whole K-pop thing. So the first appearance that they're doing is for MCountdown on the 16th, which I believe it's Thursday. So that show airs, this is Korean time, that shows air at 6 p.m. Korean time. For me, which is Pacific Standard, because I'm in the States, I'm in California, it would be at 2 in the morning. So just so you guys know, if you kind of want to base it off like the United States Pacific Standard Time, it's 2 in the morning. Mexico would be like at 3 in the morning on Thursday. So like Thursday, crack of dawn in the morning, it's at 3 a.m. is when MCountdown airs. The next appearance is Music Bank, which is Friday. It airs in Korea at 5 p.m. But for me, it's 1 a.m. Friday morning. So Mexico, it would be 2 a.m. Friday morning. So that's two early morning dawn appearances. Show Music Core airs, that's on Saturday, the 18th. That one airs in Korea at 3:15 in the afternoon, which would be 11:15 p.m. for me Friday night. So for in Mexico it would be like 12:15 at like 12:15 a.m., like a little bit past midnight Saturday morning. So keep that in mind. And the last one, Inkigayo, airs on Sundays. That's the 19th. Korea time, it's on Sunday at 3:50 p.m. But for me, in the United States and California, it's at 11:50 p.m. Friday night. So for Mexico, it would be at 12:50, almost 1 a.m. Sorry, for me, it's Saturday night, 11:50. And then for Mexico, it would be like almost 1 a.m. Sunday morning. So I will put all of that information on the description, as well as where you can watch, because some of these you're able to watch them on the MNet application, or some of them you're able to watch them on YouTube channels, and some of them you're able to watch you can only watch on Kokowa, which you can get through if you have Amazon Prime, if you want to watch it live, because otherwise they'll release the clips afterwards on their YouTube channels. But if you want to watch it live, I'll put everything in the description so you guys can kind of like have an idea of where it is. I can only tell you that my Pacific Standard Time and like the Mexico time, because I'm so used to doing those conversions. I'm not sure about like other countries, so I'm so sorry. I'm sure there's other fan bases that you can check, and they will definitely help you out with those time conversions. But anyways, that was all I wanted to chat with you guys about. Oh, also, I think they were just recently nominated for, I forgot the name of the show that they were nominated for, but they also received a nomination for the Spotify for their for the series on Spotify. So that's another thing they got. They keep getting nominated, and they're only like 5 months, like 6 months new. They're not even a year new, and they already have so many nominations. But anyways, what did you guys think of their version of BTS's Swim? And what did you guys think of them finally going to see the show? I feel like they're the most successful group because they got to see them right away. Also, I don't know if you guys like, fun fact, a lot of the Hive artists were BTS fans before they became Hive artists. So we call them like the most successful army because they get to work with them now, and they get to do collaborations like and just be greeted by them and things like that. So goals. But anyways, what did you guys think of their interpretation of the song, of them finally getting to go to the show? I hope we get some sort of mini blog, that they give us like a little bit more info. I thought they might go live, but maybe they're too busy like rehearsing for their appearances. I would love to hear their thoughts of how the show was, what their favorite things were, like the whole experience for them. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you next time.